Something deeply strange was going on in the towns and forests near the United States northern border last week, in Vermont, which happens to be America's second least populated state. It was on a tree-lined highway about 8 miles south of the Canadian border where things suddenly turned from bizarre and mysterious to dark and deadly after U.S. border agents pulled over a car with 2 young people inside. Law enforcement had been watching them for days because of their weird behavior. Without warning, a raging gunfight broke out, killing both a Border Patrol agent and one of the suspects, while the 21-year-old woman driving the car, who allegedly was the first to shoot, was injured. And now I have video I want to share of the mysterious couple acting strangely, sent to me by the manager of the hotel where they were staying right before the shooting. The Mob reporter here with news of the 2 unlikely suspects in a deadly attack on a federal agent, on the day of U.S. President Donald Trump's inauguration, no less. And the bizarro situation that's still unraveling. A story of guns, face masks, night vision goggles, computers, rolls of tinfoil, and an apparent journal kept by the shooting suspect. Let me tell you about it. Before I roll all the hotel CCTV footage, here's why it is fascinating. I'll start with the gunfight. It was about 3 p.m. on January 20th, 2025, on a stretch of Interstate 91, the major north-south highway cutting through leafy New England. Southbound, around mile marker 168, on-duty uniformed U.S. Border Patrol agents in 3 vehicles pulled over a blue 2015 Toyota Prius, a hatchback, with a North Carolina license plate. Their stated reason was an immigration inspection. The car was registered to a German citizen, and agents said they suspected his visa had expired, although the FBI later said that it hadn't. Officers alleged the young woman, who had been driving, suddenly and without warning got out of the car and started shooting at a border agent with a handgun. There was a real moment of mayhem. The passenger, the German, then reached for a gun, agent said. At least one of the Border Patrol agents shot back. The German man dropped dead on the road. He was named by the FBI as Felix Bauckholt. The young woman was hit, but alive. She is identified by the FBI as Teresa Youngblut from Seattle. Also shot, apparently in the neck, was Border Patrol agent David Chris Maland. He was rushed to hospital but did not survive. He was 44 and about to be married. It turns out the tragic traffic stop wasn't at all random. Law enforcement was desperate to know what the 2 were up to. You see, they had been under periodic surveillance for almost a week, and every time police spotted them, they were doing something weirder and weirder. It was a hotel clerk in Lyndonville, a village 28 miles south of the shootout, who first sounded the alarm. That was on January 14. A young couple had come in to book a room and spooked the clerk. They wore all black tactical garb, and the woman had what looked like a handgun in an exposed carry holster, the clerk told police. Even though open carry firearms is legal in Vermont, the couple looked so off the clerk called police. Vermont State Police and Homeland Security investigations officers came and tried to talk to the couple, but they weren't interested in chatting. They said they were in the area to buy property, an FBI affidavit says. After the cops approached them, though, the couple checked out of the hotel and drove 35 miles north to the city of Newport to find new lodging. This brings us to the hotel video. They checked in at Newport City Inn and Suites that night. Only the woman came to the reception desk wearing a large N95 face mask. The man kept far away from the lobby. The manager and desk clerk both told me. The woman used a Washington state driver's license in the name of Teresa Youngblut with a Seattle address, they told me. This is video of the woman the next day, when she came in to extend their stay in the hotel. We also see the same scene play out from behind. Now this scene is remarkable in a few ways. First, we see the black clothing and black backpack. It's hard to see if it's true tactical gear, and there is no gun to be seen here. I guess they realized the mistake they made at the other hotel and pulled things back a bit. Staff at this hotel told me they never saw a gun, and although the face mask was unusual because their COVID rates are low, the couple were never seen without them, even when alone outside. Now the woman here seems really interested in looking out the window. And outside is where things look even weirder. Here we see the scene immediately before the hotel lobby. The couple walk out of the hotel into the parking lot together. They're walking away, but then seem to decide to rebook the hotel for another night's stay. The woman heads straight into the hotel reception, but the man stays outside and wanders out of view of the lobby. When a car rolls into the parking lot, he moves even further away, quite quickly. Maybe he thought it was more cops. By then, the woman was finished inside and they walk away together. Here we see the same scene from the other side of the hotel. This view gives us the best look of the German man. On Sunday, the day before the shooting, they were under police surveillance as they walked in downtown Newport, still dressed in their black tack gear, and the woman had a holstered gun, court documents say. On the morning of the shooting, cops were watching them again. At 1:30 p.m., the man went into Walmart while the woman stayed in the Prius. That's just a 4-minute drive from their hotel. There he bought, wait for it, rolls of tinfoil. Cops watched him make a phone call in the parking lot and then saw him in the Prius pulling off sheets of foil and wrapping items on his lap in the passenger seat. At this point, you might think he was making tinfoil hats for them both, but we're not so lucky. It was cell phones. He was wrapping cell phones in tinfoil. That was most likely done to try to prevent them from receiving signals and being tracked. And no, I don't know who he called, but I sure would like to. It almost looks like they were LARPing around New England, cosplaying as terrorists. But it was real bullets from real guns that started flying on the highway, and what the FBI found afterwards is no laughing matter. First, there is guns and ammo. The crime scene was scattered with 7 spent 9mm bullet casings and 2 spent .40 caliber casings. Border agents carry 9mm service pistols, so we can assume the 7 casings were from them. Officers said a .40 caliber Glock was found near the woman after the shooting, and a .380 caliber handgun found on or near the man. An FBI affidavit filed in court says the evidence supports the scenario of the woman shooting at least twice from the driver's side of the Prius and 1 or more Border Patrol agents returning fire at least 7 times. The FBI does not specify what caliber bullet hit the agent. The items found in the Prius included tactical gear, a ballistic helmet, a night vision goggle, tactical belt with holster and a loaded magazine, 2 full-face respirators, 48 rounds of .380 caliber jacketed hollow point ammunition, a package of shooting range targets, some of which had been used, and 2 handheld two-way radios. There were also a dozen electronic devices and multiple removable storage devices. There was documents showing travel through multiple states, and there was an apparent journal found among the woman's identification documents. As it stands, Teresa Youngblut is charged with using a deadly weapon to assault, resist, or impede federal law enforcement, and another charge of assault with a deadly weapon. Her lawyer declined to comment on the allegations made in the FBI filings when I reached out to her. Both Youngblut and Bauckholt appear to be smart and into computers and math. I believe this is Bauckholt. He seemed to have been a math whiz as a teenager in Germany, before going to university in Canada and working in New York. There are some weird backstories being told about them online. How true they are, I don't yet know. But Youngblut had been reported missing to police by her parents in May. They said they feared she was in a controlling relationship and being forced to cut off contact with her family. In November, she applied for a marriage license in a Seattle suburb, but it was not to marry Bauckholt. It was to marry someone else, another computer geek who was really into Dungeons and Dragons. Now, none of that explains what the pair were up to and why it went to such extremes. I hope one day we can figure it all out. Please tap the thanks button to leave me a tip and give this video a like. And leave a comment. That helps juice the algorithm, which helps me a lot. And please make sure you're subscribed to the Mob Reporter with notifications set to all. Thanks for watching to the end.